What's up, guys? Z Farls here with Draft Champions. So if you just missed my last video, we talked about the updates, the player pool. We'll talk about them as we go through. We're going to do a sample draft here. You know I love the Colts offense. It's going to give me the best chance to win. Defensively, none of these playbooks really stand out in my mind as like, oh, I need this specific style of defense. So I am going to go Colts and focus on offense here. If they had given me, say, the Browns, obviously I would take that because I like their defense better. If they had given me Raiders, I would be like, Raiders or Colts. I know I like the Raiders defense, but I think the Colts offensively is just going to give me the best overall chance to win. So that's what we're going to take in this one. And now I've got to remember to build around that. It's pretty balanced, so it shouldn't really hurt me either way. But right here is your quarterback round. So this is an all-new change with Marcus Mariota, Steve McNair, and Matt Ryan, Football Outsider. So you see that updated pool coming into effect. If we look down at our base team, we see the all-gold base team. I see I've got Chris Ivory, who's a good truck back, so I won't need to take a truck back. Receiver, I see I'm struggling quite a bit. And at quarterback, I actually really like Flacco. I think he can get the job done for you, and Winston's pretty good too. So I don't want to take, I like that they give me kind of some mobile guys here. I am going to take Mariota because I feel like if I do need to go all out passing or go deep, I can sub in Flacco. Whereas McNair is very good in balanced, or Matt Ryan is the best across the board, but he doesn't give you that speed element. So I would say Matt Ryan, if I didn't have good golds, he's the most balanced. Definitely Mariota as a weapon, and exactly what I want to do with this Colt scheme is run the shovel option and mix it in. So I will definitely use Mariota. McNair overthrew in the mid-range for me a little bit, and that was kind of a factor, and there's a throw I really like in this playbook that does involve that. So I am going to go Mariota. I know he's not going to throw the best, but he'll be more likely what I want to do. Now, this is a really tough move here. Do I go with LaDainian Tomlinson, the legend, or Chad Ochocinco, who is good, and I lack big-time receivers? Very good question. I just don't think you can pass on LT enough. I just 92 speed. That's pretty awesome. I now have Mariota and Tomlinson. I did say I had, at least Ivory as a backup power guy, but Tomlinson's a completely different type, which is good. And then at receiver, I'm still hurting, but hopefully I'll get some more to pop up. We'll have to see if there's a lot of halfbacks or a lot of receivers. Generally, you get more receivers, but maybe we'll find out something different. Let's see. Upshaw's got good hit power. Leon Hall's slow. Benrique, I think, could be my cover 2 guy. Connor Barwin should be fine. So, defensively, the Colts, I don't know a ton of what they want to do, so I want to start building towards a nickel defense. Tavon Young at corner is actually a really good zone corner. He's a little short. But Levante David's probably our best coverage style linebacker. So I will grab him and throw it in. I didn't like passing on the corner there, but I've worked with Levante David, and I feel that he's pretty good. So now I like this decision here. 2 gold 84s, along with an elite lineman and a center at that. So I do have LaDainian Tomlinson. I know I want to run the ball a bit, but I feel like I can't pass on the Inman. I know he's not great. I just don't know if he's that much better than the guys you already have. Let's try a center, and we'll see if it can hold up. Latavius Murray, we can't select. Jason Witten, a tight end, will be good in this scheme. Jordan Matthews is actually really balanced and pretty good, and I know I keep saying that I need a receiver, and I've passed over on 2, but I just think Witten's super rock solid. Now, Jamal Charles or Quincy Enunwa, this is actually a pretty good question. 90 speed on the Enunwa, and his route running's an 80. Jamal Charles, I bet his route running's just nearly as good. And I actually think if I put him at receiver, he's going to have a higher overall. And for my 5 wide, I want Jamal Charles. So I'm not going to take the receiver, even though I've now said 4 rounds in a row I need to take a receiver. I've already got the center. I'm going to play Jamal Charles at receiver in this scheme in the 5 wide, have him run the dragon routes, and I think I could take advantage of him. Jones at backer, I think he's too similar to Barwin, kind of already what they do. The Hargrave is a pretty decent finesse move tackle, but I think this Calvin Pryor gives me a little hit power in that defense. Blanton, I don't think is not too bad. Hitchens is 85 speed in the middle. I've got David already, so unless I would user Hitchens, which I could definitely do, he's pretty solid. Wolf is strength and block shed personified. He's actually a really, really, really good end. But this Jamar Taylor, I love. 92 speed with 90 zone. He's going to be a guy that we need for our defense. So that was actually a really solid round. I don't think I could have gone wrong right there. It just depends on what else is going to come up. Williams is a beef run stuffer guy. Could have went there. Jamie Collins comes in. Is he the guy I use her at 6'3"? I've already got Levante David, who's a little bit similar maybe to what he wants to do. And then you have TJ Ward, and I've already drafted Calvin Pryor, so I'd have to then move one to free safety. I'd have 3 players in my secondary. I got to get a little more depth at linebacker, and I'm not nervous about DT.
Now it's getting to the time of the draft.
Delaney Walker. So I definitely can't take a halfback. I've got 2. Walker's a very good run blocker, 82 speed. Bryce Butler's got 90 speed, 91 spec. He's pretty good, and I still don't have one. I'm going to take Delaney Walker. I'm going to go 2 tight ends, 1 halfback, Mariota. This is going to be a single back ace style scheme. I just need now 1 receiver, basically, and it's going to be Demaryius Thomas. Now, this is tough because Casillas, I think he does what David does, and I've already got Collins, so I feel good about the 2 backers I have. I do need to get some linemen. I like Mike Mitchell, but I have to go Demaryius. And my offense is going to be a little bit stacked right here. Having to pass on the Mitchell hurts, but Thomas is a great run blocker. Now, this is the Delaney Walker you want. Wow. I can't take him, though. I'm going to take a Kawan Short because I've already got a center. He's actually got good power move for a DT. That is pretty nice little draft right there. On the defensive side of the ball, Kevin Green is a monster. You drop him down to D end if you were to pick him. Diggs is going to be my drag guy, and then my offense will be finished. My offense is done if I take Diggs. My offense is perfect for what I want to do. The question is, am I going to get another pass rusher, or am I going to get another safety later in the game, or am I more likely to get that? So that's kind of the million coin question right now. I could really nicely round out my secondary. Or I could get a pass rusher, which I, don't fully have yet. But I think Diggs is my drag guy in the offense, has to go there, and I cannot pick another offensive player. All right, and here we go. We get a flashback round. Jenkins and Revis, I think I want to play more zone. It says Revis is a man guy. 89, 85, 90, 87. I'll take the Revis. I'm usually a Janoris Jenkins guy. I would definitely consider myself more of a Janoris Jenkins guy in multiple situations, but we'll give Revis a crack at it. And then in the middle, I didn't really get that pass rusher. He's got 90 power move, which is good. Good block shed. I could take a Wagner, and then I would have to drop Jamie Collins down. We're going to be hurting a little bit. I think Kevin Williams down there should have pretty good. Plus, we have Connor Barwin, who should be able to get after it. Nate Allen's is pretty decent, but I just don't think I could pass on Bobby Wagner. End up now having two linebackers for the nickel. Drop a guy down. We just picked up an 85 overall draft. And just one other tip, before you guys go into your game, you have to look at it. So here is actually a crucial mistake I made in my draft. Sort of. I should have put Jamal Charles at receiver instead of Diggs. So Diggs has 90 speed, Charles has 89 speed. So for a guy that's just going to run drags, for me, even though Diggs has 91 route running, Diggs is really good. He's better than Charles, no doubt about it. But remember, in that selection, I could have picked a safety, and then I would have a much better overall. Look at that secondary. My secondary would be all elites, and I could just play simply Charles. Now, because the bulk of my time I'm going to spend in 2 receiver, 2 tight ends. But when I do want to go up to the 3 wide, that's when I'm going to have to play Charles out there. So it's okay that I have him, but I was just thinking for the lineup I was building, I really could just use him there. And that single back ace could work in that situation. So I got a good run blocker. I feel good about my lineup overall. Obviously, I didn't take a ton of linemen, but having golds isn't the worst possible thing in the world. And then, of course, short, we're going to need him in Barwin. Kyle Williams is actually pretty good base item. Connor Barwin could definitely be a little bit better in the pass rushing game. I love this Allen Bailey as just a base edge stuff in beast. Like, he's Derek Wolfe. Like, you don't have to take Derek Wolfe because you have Allen Bailey on your base team, right? So that should work pretty good. Kirksey is a good coverage guy. He could go in with David if I needed somebody. So William Moore, definitely I would start Amos just because of the speed advantage. I'm going to make sure I get Amos involved in the lineup. So don't get fooled by that. Make sure you go through your team. I know we say it all the time. You know, consider your playbooks. Leon Hall in the slot is okay. We might move him down there instead. But that's my thoughts on my first draft here. Hopefully that gives you an idea of the updated player pool. For the full details, check my last video or the link in the description. And we'll talk soon, guys. Until next time, this is Farls. Lock up.